All right, Jason Rona back here in the JConcepts garage. We're here for another vlog episode. We're also in the speed shop here today because we have an array of different products here. We're here with Fred Reep, who's been on a trip with JConcepts, several events, and we made a trip through the Digger's Dungeon over to the Bigfoot Open House. And tell us a little bit about that trip and going over there to the open house and this body debut.
Yeah, just about a 16-hour trip from Digger's Dungeon all the way to the Bigfoot shop, over the river and through the woods to Bigfoot's open house we'll go. Brand new Raptor Ford race truck. Great piece. It's something that somebody, all these guys have been wanting for a while now, and finally we got to do that project and debuted it there at the open house, and again, the fans love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's, we've been kind of working our way through some of our favorite bodies, essentially. We've been adjusting the wheelbase and different things over time to, kind of have a different assortment of bodies for the guys that like all the different types of monster trucks. Right. And, here we landed on the Ford Raptor. This is based off of a year model in the 2010 range. There's a big range of years that it represents, but right. We're calling it 2010. But, this body's been around a while, and what did you see when this body first came out, and incorporating it into the monster trucks, and how do you see it looking and performing in the real world and then into the RC?
Yeah, it's a real popular body. I guess the racy look of the trophy truck look, I would say, to the Ford Raptor. Again, a very popular body in the motorsports world. Again, the racy look, the Raptor. It's a beast in real life. You would know. But yeah, to bring it to life in RC form, these guys, we've seen people trying to put something together to try and look right, but again, it wasn't right. So we had to take the extra step and, size up to these trucks. It's been a real difficult task over the past few years with these things, just trying to fit the niche what these guys are wanting. We have retro classes, which is kind of the standard base of where all this stuff is originated from. So we wanted to start out there, fill that niche. We've got a great assortment of bodies for that. Now these guys, racing trucks, a little longer wheelbase, a little bit wider wheelbase in the width. So, we have to make the bodies to fit. So it makes it harder on our part, to fill now two niches of the monster truck. So we want to have a nice, good series for the retro guys, and now for these race trucks, we're getting them a little bigger for them.
Yeah, I mean, the trucks that we've installed it on already is this truck here, the gold Bigfoot truck. We use this on an axial based truck. We use the Max D type chassis because it's black, but right. We got it fitted right on there. And what's kind of neat about this chassis is when we cut the back of the bed and the rear of the cab a little bit, you get the roll bars coming through just like the real truck, right?
Yeah, it's really cool. A lot of problems here with solving with tailgates and stuff, trying to keep the bodies together. We were able just to make the molds and the cut lines and the tape lines for your paint to where you could just tape it on out, and it looks like the real truck without any extra bracing in there. It has the strength.
And when we were up there at the open house, we also had Bobby Chandler also ran one of the Raptors on his truck. He painted it like the Bigfoot Racer. It was a good looking piece that he had mounted on the Chaos chassis, which kind of shows the versatility of that particular body, right?
Yeah, it can fit an assortment amount of trucks. I mean, it's just a matter of setting up all your body mounts, so on and so forth. But there's plenty of meat in the body there. Like we said, we had it on his Chaos. This one here is on the SMT10, so you're able to cut it out and fit your roll bars in there. So yeah, it all works well all the way around.
So kind of your impressions there of the open house. I mean, we did the RC part, we did the retro, we did sport mod, we did pro mod, did some freestyle, and then we did some of the one-to-one retro truck racing. And what did you see at the open house that was kind of fun about it?
Yeah, the 1-1 retro racing, was really super cool. It's nice to see those trucks out again. Hopefully it makes a statement big enough now in the real monster truck world that we're going to be seeing more of that. I think there's a target audience, from you and I from back in the day, enjoying it and watching the origin of the sport. I think it's going to come full circle, and then we're going to start seeing segments of that. Knock wood.
So And then so they ran the retro trucks.
They ran the retro trucks.
And it was really pretty interesting because we got in a situation where the guys started getting a little more aggressive. And
they were getting serious.
They were getting serious, and they wanted to get that win. And we had Colt Cobra was out there doing some directing of the real trucks,
right,
and keeping them in line, and it was a pretty fun atmosphere.
Yeah, fun atmosphere. Lots and lots of fans showing up to see that. Just going around seeing Ron Bachman, Bigfoot 12 there, signing his autographs, doing his thing. Bigfoot 5 over on display, awesome piece. And the original Bigfoot 1, that's always one to see.
Yeah, then they came out, and Darren Schnell and Hot Rod did a little freestyle action with their race trucks, showing wow, these what they can do in that area right next to their shop. It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, very impressive, and to even be there watching the retros run and then seeing the newer technology run, how far the sport has actually evolved, and it's pretty amazing where they're at today.
Yeah, what they're able to do, just launching over everything they had out there, and seeing what you see on TV now, but when it's right in front of you, it's a little different.
Yeah, and making it look effortless with the suspension package that these trucks are running now, and a lot less abusive on the drivers.
We just released the 08 Ford body, which was something that you debuted back at the World Finals in March.
Right. Monster Jam World Finals. We did the Cody's truck and the Mutant Super Soda, and then the people went nuts over it. Now we're able and are ready to release this thing, and now we got the JConcepts Cyclone paint job.
Yep.
Courtesy of Dan Wyatt, doing a nice job there.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise. We were needing a paint job for this. Larry Genova did us a nice paint job. Also that we used in a lot of the photos, and then Dan did this Cyclone kind of as a surprise for us, and turned out really nice. That I wanted to mount it for one of my race bodies in the future.
Yeah, that body didn't sit around too long before I seen it disappear and end up on one of your trucks.
Yep, it was mounted. It was on the truck, ready to go, and we got some photos out of it. And we did some. Larry did a bunch of nice paint jobs for us there in a row, and we're actually going to want to give away the one body that he did, and we're going to put some autographs on it and give it away here on one of our social media pages.
Yeah, nice some original paint, and the fans should like that.
Yeah, and so that's one thing we wanted to talk about, was this being officially released. We waited for a while for for all of our licensing to be complete, all for our decals to be complete, because it's all a process, but it was nice to finally get this guy out, and there are a lot of people waiting for it.
Yeah, people don't realize that there's a lot of hoops to jump through in order to get a project like this done. When it comes to mold makers, testing it, maybe going back to the mold maker again. It's a big process to make these things right, and once they're out there, they're nice to have.
Yeah, and so we move along. We go into a body that you worked on here and that you painted, which was our UTV. We're calling this the Truth 2 or the T2 body. We've kind of shortened up some of the naming of our bodies, and this is the T2. But explain to us, kind of the time it took and what kind of went into your paint job here on the UTV.
Yeah, it's kind of a love-hate paint job. I know a few people walking around here in the building, they kind of don't like my paint job on this one, but actually this one here, I just happened to be flipping through, getting some inspiration, and it ended up being a Ryan Mayfield actual paint work that I didn't even realize when I did it. But we kind of wanted to make this one a little special. This body is tons of detail in it, so I really wanted those details to pop. So when it comes to the plastic paneling that would be on a 1-1, and then some of the shiny graphics or the body panels, like door panels and hood pieces, I wanted those nice and shiny. And then we have a lot of detail and roll cage work on this, so I really wanted that to pop with the neon orange and really show what can be done and what's actually in here. You don't realize, flipping through on your phone or looking it up on the internet, sometimes a picture's only 1,000 words, but when you get this thing in front of you and actually look at it, it's a pretty amazing body. From the decal package, to the mask package, we went back and we did a lot of cutouts for the mask, so it's easier for the customer to paint these roll bars in. We included mask for the rear end of the body, where we actually have a decal set, to display the engine in there. So you can either mask it out or use the decals.
Yeah, and it is a nice body to mount.
Yeah.
We have it displayed on our Slash 2-wheel drive because that's obviously one of the more popular vehicles,
Right.
maybe at this point of all time. The Slash 2-wheel drive, but your favorite, the Slash 4x4. It's a versatile platform for us and for Traxxas, and you've had it on both vehicles, and
Direct fit for both.
I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I think it's a really cool piece, and I hope people really like it too.
Yeah, it's super cool, and we have the over trays, for the Slash 4x4 and the 2-wheel drive Slash. So going out there bashing in the sand dunes or something like that, your chassis is going to be protected. It also gives it that super clean look over there, so you're really focused on the paint work, your artwork on the body. So I wasn't able to run the Slash 4x4 version yet, but you're going to see it coming soon.
And one thing I've had people ask me after they've seen these photos, they're like, "What tires do you have on this on this vehicle?" And the wheels and all this. And sometimes a lot of that gets lost because over the years we have something, we've used it for one application and turned it into another. But these are our Scorpios tires for short course that we've had around for a while. And I mean, you actually raced with them once on a 4x4 short course, and they're really soft and they work really well. But explain the look we were kind of going for there.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to replicate the real thing, or something you would want to see on the real thing. And the Scorpios do have more of that 1-1 type look, I would call it. And they look spectacular on here. It's just mix and match. And if you're going to go racing on a racetrack, we have a tremendous amount of different shapes, compounds, tread patterns to go with. A chopper would also look awesome on this thing.
Yeah, it's just all about tearing it up, making it look good. And so that's it, the UTV. I mean, we're really happy with it. And we got a couple alternate paint schemes that we can show, but we really liked this one because it showed a lot of the detail, and I think I was concerned that people wouldn't be able to see that, and with this body, I think it really helps that.
Yeah, it has that pop to it. You can really see what's going on there. So that's what I set out to do.
We made a long trip. You and Rich headed out to Texas Motor Speedway, and we had another debut that we wanted to do out there. And it seems like all these type of events you're doing, you're carrying along something new to show, and it's really actually been really fun and motivating for us, keeping us on schedule, trying to get something made, and
sets the pace.
It set the pace. And tell us what you brought to Texas, and what we were debuting out there.
Yeah, the brand new 91 Ford Mustang body. A lot of people have been asking this in the background ever since we introduced the Nova. Well, here it is. Got to debut that thing. JD Crow out there doing the racing, wrenching, and everything on there, getting his stuff dialed in. He had a silver version of this. I did up this burgundy type version of this car, and again, the response from the fans, love it.
Yeah, I mean, we took this Street Eliminator concept that you'd worked on about a year ago now, where we used a lot of Traxxas parts. That was the whole goal, was to basically use pretty much all their parts, build this Street Eliminator car using a lot of plastic Traxxas parts, and building it somewhat on a budget and making it look like something they would produce themselves, right?
Yeah, we did the hard work for the customer. I mean, if they want to actually go on here, we actually have a build sheet of what I did here. Not many custom parts at all. When I try and do these projects, whether it be the monster trucks, the UTVs, or this thing, try and stick to the available parts, and try and stick it to a manufactured base. So if we're working on the Traxxas car, it's going to be Traxxas parts in this thing. And people were quite surprised. We popped the body off of it. I know JD kind of has more of a racing version of it. I tried to keep this more along the lines of a stock type car that would be produced, and people were pretty blown away. It looks really cool. It's super clean, and it's pretty fast.
Yeah, I mean, with this Mustang, we were able to get this thing made, make our first sample pulls. You painted the body rather quickly overnight, and we got this thing mounted, and you guys were out on the road.
Yeah, a lot of work behind the scenes to get this one done. As soon as we got the mold here, Paul Wynn in the shop here working on that mold, making sure we have some production released type bodies so we can get to work painting on that thing. Yeah, night before it came down to, sometimes we fool around and say, hey, the paint was sticky when it got loaded on the truck, but it was dry when we got there. But yeah, we got it done. Also difficult sometimes because this is done before we have a decal set, so I kind of had to get a little tricky in the mask work there to try and make something presentable, but not have the decals on it yet. But I think it came out pretty well.
And the other thing we wanted to concentrate on the weekend was the debut of our new tires for the Street Eliminator concept.
Yes.
We worked on last year. We did the 3D printed wheels, which a lot of people have talked to us about. They've used with success because they have sort of that real one-to-one look of something you'd have on one of these cars. But we felt that it was time for us to make a true molded wheel like we have with the rest of our lineup. And we made a front and a rear specific wheel, and then the tires to go along with it.
Yeah, it's really nice to see the drag racing guys out there, RCDRL and all the other organizations that's probably around the country, seeing these things, constantly coming up saying thank you for bringing this product to us. It's a market that was kind of untapped and people ignored. So now we've stepped up to the plate and helping them out here, and these drag car tires and wheels are awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're concentrating on a class here that's really, it's about using this Slash type platform,
right?
A short course type vehicle, around 13 inches long. They're a little under 11 inches wide, and the bodies are big because they have to fit over that configuration.
Yeah, they have to fit over there, and we're trying to tuck the tires in here. When we did this build, it is a short course chassis, but we took car arms and we're able, the ability to move the Traxxas parts around from car to car is awesome. So we put the shorter car arms on it to get that track in there and tuck everything under that body. And the Startec wheels, they're doing a job. They're giving it that scaled drag race wheel look, and the tires. It all works.
Yeah, I mean, we learn a lot as we go with this, as we get our own experience. You had a little bit of wheel time, just playing around driving this one, and what did it feel like when you were driving?
Yeah, driving the car. We're doing some testing out in the parking lot. Just really the first time getting my feet wet. I've never really driven the car at all since we built it. I just kind of used experience and what I thought would work, and it works. It's just we actually overpowered it. The class of these things runs on a 2S. We put a 3S in this thing. We were on a real rough parking lot type surface, very abrasive to the tires, and just to do a little learning on there. Punching full throttle punch, what the car's going to do, how the cars are going to hold up to that sort of abuse. And they do a good job. We have two compounds we're offering with these tires, a green and a gold. Your green tire would be more or less on a cool day, a cool track temperature. And these golds, we had track temperatures exceeding 160 degrees out there, and they will just annihilate the rubber. So JD, we went with the gold compounds for him, and they were perfect. Yeah,
I mean, and talk about JD, he had a great debut. He ended up getting the #1 qualifier with his race combination, but using these tires and wheels, right?
Yeah, he started off with golds. At the beginning in test and tune, he was messing around with the greens. Started annihilating them just because, again, the temperatures of the track and the ambient temperature was just so high. Went to the golds. Also there was a test and tune right before they ran their mains. It was a little cooler out. Tried the greens on a pass. Tried the golds at the pass. It's just the temperatures were just right enough. The gold just happened to be that for the weekend. And he did a great job taking the top qualifier spot.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the goal of these tires, is to run in that formula of the Street Eliminator type class. We want to, I guess, stress or talk about that. We wanted to make them a successful rubber tire, but that's still not, way out there in terms of cost. This stays in line with the cost of like a typical short course tire.
Right.
And then, with the offset of these wheels, it really works well with this car combination.
Yeah, it works really well. You have plenty of contact patch up here on the tire. It's tough. We're just dipping into this drag racing thing. We have JD backing us up. He's out there, finding out what's working on the track. A tremendous help to us, and we can only go to these races and learn from him, learn from what these guys are doing on the track, and put this whole total package together and get some more interest going in the hobby.
Yeah. So what we have here is we'll kind of rewind back. the Ford Raptor. We're looking at it as a release in July here with that body.
Yep.
We debuted it there at the open house, but we're going to have it out here in July. Just getting our decals finished there. '08 Ford is out now. This is just released fresh. The UTV body fresh as well. That's just out. And then the Ford Mustang, which we're saying is going to be a late July, early August release after we get all of our items finished that are required to go production. And we're hoping to get that out there soon.
Yeah, lots of new product and lots on deck still to go.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had a lot of people ask. They really enjoy this, the Street Eliminator, the vehicles that we're doing here, and I think we're going to do more of it and have some more options down the road. Of course, everybody has their favorite. That's no different than the monster trucks.
No different.
That everybody has their favorite that they had at one point or another, but we really want to concentrate on the ones that we feel that we're getting a lot of requests for and stuff that's a little outside the box, right?
Yeah, I mean, our mold maker, he's always busy, so we're just, as soon as we can't get them done fast enough, but they're all in line. We are listening to the fans. Trust me, they're on the list and they're gonna get done.
So look for those all new products. Some of them are out now. Some are going to be July and then in August. But the tires and wheels, they're going to be dropping soon as well. And we did a little test run of getting them out to the racers while you guys were out there, and there was a lot of success with people trying them there, right?
Yeah, a lot of success. People were just super excited. Again, it has the look. It does work. So yeah, they're ready to go. They're excited. Get them out to the market.
All right, well, tell us about what do you got coming up? What's your next on the calendar and agenda for, kind of moving towards late summer, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we're looking late summer, early fall. Up in September, we're going up to New York to see the DeFalco brothers again for their RCMTC World Finals. It's going to be awesome. Back on the dirt.
Yep.
These guys are getting ready. Mega trucks are on the card, which we always like to see. And look out, they're going to be ready. And then October, we're filling a niche for an event. Trigger King stepping up to the JConcepts King of the Monster Trucks.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that they talked about, and you brought up about getting a new monster truck event in there that we could kind of fill a void, and we're excited about doing that event in St. Louis, and we've got a lot of cool things planned there. Yeah,
a lot of cool things planned. I'm just hearing some things going on behind the scenes, and I'm pretty excited over it.
All right, well, thanks, Fred. Thanks for attending all the hard work with you and Rich out there on the road and getting these bodies debuted. And we'll see you next time in the JConcepts garage. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.